Hi, I'm Cloudy and today we're talking about one and done eyeshadows. I'm sorry, I should have filmed this video on the day that I actually wear eyeshadows to match the theme, but it's been a long time since I last filmed and finally I have this chance, like alone in my room. Yeah, no roommate is here right now, so I need to figure out what time that I could actually film, but fortunately, today is a great time, but without eyeshadow, I think it's still perfectly fine to talk about one and done eyeshadow. The idea of one and done eyeshadow is that you use like just one pot, one pan, or just like one thing, one shade, and it completes your look. Um, to be honest, it's not my vibe. I don't do the most aesthetic, intricate eyelids ever, but I think I need more than one color, one eyeshadow to complete my eye look if I ever do so, because I want more color, more dimensions. Yeah, just something fun because it usually takes me longer to do my eyeshadow because I want to invest time in doing something that I really enjoy. So on top of anything, one and done eyeshadow isn't like my top choice. But today I want to show you guys 5 eyeshadows. They are just perfect on their own. And I think with just like one swipe of each of them, it would be like a complete look because is it that good? And I'm very happy if I only have to wear only one of them on my eyes. Like, yeah, there must be days that I don't have that much time and I would go for these options. I'm gonna cheat for the majority of today's video because I don't have a lot of actual single shadows or like one and done eyeshadow, like a cream shadow in a pot type of thing. But the first one is a real one. This is the Mercier Metallic Taupe. No, Metallic Taupe is the shade name. The name of the product is Caviar Stick Eye Color. This is so pretty. Like I said, I'm not a fan of like natural makeup, no makeup, one and done, just like a taupey metallic on my eye, but this one is really good. It works so well as if you use it alone or you use it with matte shades or anything, it's just so good. It's so shimmery, it's metallic, but it has a lot of reflect in it and it's just so beautiful. I only have a minis of it, but this is a type of product that I think I would pay a full price for. You know, single shadows alone are very expensive. Like in the palette you have like 10 or 50 shades. That's my, you know, favorite range of an eyeshadow palette. But then when you buy like just only one shade and it costs up to half the price of a palette, and it doesn't make sense to me. But I understand with this price point, it's a high-end product. It's beautiful. I'm gonna insert swatches of how these products look like, and oh my god, this is so pretty. It gives me like a clean girl look, but I don't really believe in that. It's unachievable and not realistic, just that term clean girl, but it gives me the vibe. Like if you had to categorize that type of look, I would just call it that. So this is the part that I have to cheat because I have single shadows in my collection, maybe just like one more and some glitter pot. So to really time in the one and done eyeshadow world, I have to pick one shade from one of my palettes, and the palette that I pick is the Athr Beauty Amethyst Crystal Gemstone palette. This is like my top one palette of all time. I've talked about it a lot and there's no way back of how much I love this palette. And the shade that I'm picking is this shade right here. It's called, I believe, Spirituality, and it's a warm toned duochrome purple with a pink shift in it. Yesterday I did a look that I put this shade at the center of my lid, and it brought out the best of everything. It's just so perfect. And the look that I'm gonna show you guys, I just put this one on, and you can see it has a very beautiful flip from purple to reddish pink. It's intense, to be honest, but it's just beautiful, and you can see there's a lot of sparkle in it. I'm not sure, but I believe it is infused with real, crystallized matter like amethyst. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. If it is, it could be because of that, so that it has that beautiful effect. But with or without that effect, it's very random. It doesn't matter. It's beautiful, and this shade and this palette, I think I would consider every single shade in this palette is a good one and done eyeshadow, because I have bias. I love this palette, but this shade in particular, it's just my top one of everything. Another favorite palette is this Nomad Cosmetics Berlin Underground, and the shade that I want to feature is this one right here called SO36. It's very unusual that I would mention some sort of a green eyeshadow to be like in the top 5 of something that you can just one swipe, you put only it on your lids and it's just perfect. But this shade it's the reason why I bought this palette, and no regret because of that, because this is a type of duochrome that I think the color is not very unique, but it's unique to my collection. Like on the market, like if you go to any indie brands, you can just find this kind of color, which is like a gold brownish flip to a little bit of green, like a khaki type color. But it's unique to my collection. I didn't own any shade like this before, so it adds something to my collection, and I love using it just all over my lid, just this one alone, because duochrome quality in it is really interesting to look at. Like I said, I want more dimensions, so if I just use one thing, I want the multi-dimensional aspect of it to be maintained. So that's why if it flips from one shade to another, it's just perfect because it looks fun to me. One more palette and we are done. This is from Colourpop, but I don't feel it's a cheat or like a guilty moment to mention Colourpop is a brand that sells single shadows, because they actually do, and you can pop out any shade in this palette, in this format. To use is like a build your own palette situation, whatever it is. I think this palette is really good. By the way, not a lot of people love this palette, but to me it's the best Colourpop palettes that I own, and I own like 7 or 8 Colourpop palettes. This one is the best, but like it didn't receive enough love. Just personal opinion. But the shade that I would put on my lid is this one called Clarity. It's a Super Shock formula, I believe. If it's not, it must be something very similar, because it's so like creamy and putty like to the touch, and it has like no color base. Like the base is translucent, it's just shimmering, it's just like a little bit of glittery effect, but not overall glitter. Yesterday, after putting the shade Spirituality from the Athr Beauty palette, I top it up with the shade, and it looks like a nebula. Like when I look back at the photo I took of that look, this shade on top, it gives like a sparkling blue vibe. I think it has like a duochromic effect too, from blue to purple, and then the purple perfectly blend with the shade, the purple shade from the Athr Beauty, and like on the surface of it, I see a lot of blue and it's just so beautiful. Oh my god. But this one alone, I have to say, like, it creases a little bit because it's a cream eyeshadow technically, and I didn't set anything on top of it, so it creases on my eyes a little bit, but I don't care. I don't wear uh, makeup that long, so that it would be very, you know, gross and greasy, that is too visible. uh, but it's, oh my god, it's gorgeous. Like, I have to show you guys a look. It's purple and blue and it's ethereal. That's how I describe it. Finally, it's not a real single shadow. It's also not one from the palette. It's actually a bronzer. I particularly like this Too Faced Chocolate Gold Soleil bronzer because it's a shimmering bronzer. If I have to give advice for someone that is very recently starting to build their own makeup collection, I would recommend them to multitask their products. Did I phrase that correctly? To use their product for multiple functions, let's say it. And it's just perfect to use a bronzer and to put it over your crease, and you have a lot of depth. You can just quickly do it, and I don't think you even have to switch the brush. You can just sweep the bronzer brush towards your crease. Like, it's not very precise, but it helps create a lot of dimension. I picked this one because it's shimmery. It's a little bit more sparkly than a normal matte bronzer, so it gives that kind of shimmering effect. And I think it's a look. Like, you put something on, you blend it out, you deepen up using more bronzer. I think it just is intricate and is professional, yeah, technique wise, to create a look with just bronzer, because that's how makeup works. You use whatever you want for whatever purpose that you also like, and yeah, you talk about makeup in a way that you want, like I'm doing right now. I have no clue what I'm doing right now because I'm talking about one done eyeshadow, but then 3 of them are from the palette. You use one shade from the palette, but it saves money. If you can use like one shade in the palette and it completes the look, why do you pay half of the price of the palette, like I said, to buy just one thing? But then it's get more complicated because I think this one is like 25, 27 US dollars for just one cream shadow stick like this. But I do think it's worth it. I could see myself to purchase one thing like that in the future. Yeah, it's all preference. That's it. This video literally took months to film. I planned to film it back in Vietnam, did film some, you know, demos, some of the looks using those eyeshadows. Yeah, finally have time to film the rest of it, and it has been wide. Sometimes, like, I cannot even imagine that I had lived here for a month. Even like grasping the idea that I'm living in Australia is, it's just wide. Anyway, once again, I'm Cloudy, and hopefully we see each other again. Bye.